everybody, and welcome to a brand new broadcasting partnership with the American Sim Racing League. It's an ARCA series that I actually used to run in. A good buddy of the team, Rick Thompson, he races with us on Sunday nights in the Blazing Pedal series. You see him out there in that beautiful 76 machine. He is one of the admins for this series, and got to talking with him behind the scenes a little bit. I barely missed the playoff cut. So I said, hey, I just started broadcasting. I don't care to come on board and broadcast this series for you. The racing here is top notch. It's just as good as Sunday night's races. And I mean, Sunday nights are known to go flag to flag with no cautions. And there's been many races I've done this season with the American Sim Racing League races where we have went just that, flag to flag. Tonight is the start of the playoffs. Like I said, top five drivers in the points. They are vowing for their chance at making it to the end. It's a 3-race playoff, I do believe, if I remember correctly. And they are going to do what they can in order to be the first series champion of the American Sim Racing League, or better known as the ASRL ARCA Series League. And now, before we really get into the nitty gritty, I would be remiss if I did not mention that there's also a Sunday series that ASRL does. It's a midday series, starts about noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and it's a dirt series. And I've done 3 or 4 of their races. I'm not a dirt guy per se, and I go out there, I have a blast, I have a ball, and I know you would too. So if you're interested in running ARCA on Wednesday nights or some type of dirt series that is yet to be announced which car they're going to be using as of yet, then you need to reach out to Casey Campbell or Rick Thompson, or just look them up on Facebook or iRacing by looking up American Sim Racing League. Like I said, it's a top-notch league. I support it. I raced in it, but I mean, I'm still a supporter. I'm a fan tonight, first and foremost, and I'm excited to be here. But without further ado, I want to take a look at the points situation we have at hand here. And now you will see my name as number 6 right there. Like I said, barely missed the playoffs, but it's not about me tonight. It's about those top 5 drivers still on the board there. You got Dalton Kilroy, Joshua Sexton, Taylor, The Butcher, Benjamin, Corey Rutherford, and then rounding out your top 5, that's Rick Thompson. Corey Rutherford and Rick Thompson have been in a heated battle all season long. And as you see, they do their points basically like how NASCAR does. If you get a win, you get some bonus points. So you see there, Mr. Kilroy, Dalton, he got 9 wins on the season, guys. He came into this series and made it his playground. So I know these drivers, even the non-playoff contending drivers, the talent out here is out of this world. I mean, it really is. The talent is out of this world. So just because Dalton won 9 races, he still needs to put together solid races in order to be the champion. But he does have a very comfortable lead heading into the playoff start tonight at Michigan International Speedway. And now we are getting close to qualifying here. I made a mistake. I joined as a driver just out of habit, more or less than anything. And so I won't get to see these boys lay down their laps for qualifying. That's a little unfortunate because it is 10 minutes of qualifying time. I wish I could hear them, but I mean, I wish I could watch them, but I'm not able to. So I apologize. Just trying to get stuff ready on the back end. It's not letting me move people. Let me see if I can get this fixed real quick, folks. Just bear with us because this is our first night broadcasting the series. First night the series is being broadcasted. I need to have the ability to be able to move drivers within Discord so we can bring them up here for an interview. I just tried to move up Rick Thompson. Can move a few people, but cannot move everybody. Let's see if it lets me move him now here. Oh, there we have it. Now we got Mr. Rick Thompson. This is Tanner Marr in the Five Kings Net Worth booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Tanner. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I know you're doing really good to be number 5 in the playoffs. So you got that berth, you got that seat at the table, we'll call it. But we'll talk about that in just a second. You are one of the main guys behind the American Sim Racing League, or better known as ASRL, the ARCA series on Wednesday night. When you were putting this series together, when it all came up in your mind, what was your goal? What's your outlook, and what's some stuff to come in the future? Mainly, what do we have another season coming next season?
So, yeah, absolutely, we have another season coming. So when I put it together, I wanted to basically get some clean driving together with a car that was fun to drive. That's why we have the ARCA car that we're out here racing. We get some good quality racing out here. We hardly have any yellows out here, but we basically have tire limits set up so that we don't have people swapping tires all the time. They're going to have to make sure that they save their tires and utilize some strategy and make it to the end of the race on only a certain set of tires. That way we can keep people from obviously overdriving and making sure that we're getting good quality racing at the end of the day. But yes, as for season two, we are absolutely having another season. This season, uh, we was our first one going into the Arcas, and it's been a great success. We have hardly had any yellows or anything like that. So for next season, we're actually going to keep mostly the same format, but we're going to introduce a phase into basically a competition caution in the middle of the race.
Okay,
And because as when we do that, we're going to give points for the finishing positions at the when that caution comes out,
right.
and it's going to be more towards the beginning of the race to help add in some strategy. And if somebody ends up getting a bad start or something like that, catches the field back up and provides for some more exciting racing.
Right on. I mean, that makes sense. So I'm a huge fan of the competition caution. I like stage racing, so it sounds like it's kind of the best of both worlds there. Now, Rick, I know we are going into qualifying. I will let you get back, but first I want to ask you, with you being in the playoffs, what's your outlook tonight? What's your goal? We'll call it.
Well, first of all, goal is to finish the race because in order for me to get any points tonight, I'm going to have to make sure I'm there at the end. So I want to stay clean as possible. But yeah, obviously Dalton's going to be the guy to beat. He's going into the playoffs here in the number one uh, points position, and there's a reason for that with all of those victories. But hopefully, I can steal one away from tonight. It's a track that I feel comfortable with, and had a lot of experience on. So hopefully, I can keep it close and maybe out Dalton with his own strategy somewhere.
Now, see, I hear Dalton in my ears, so I know that's what he's known for, is having some wonky fuel strategies that's been paying off for him. So, Rick, I'll be up in the Five Kings Network calling the action. Maybe we'll be talking to you at the end. Good luck to you, brother.
Thanks a lot, Tanner. Really appreciate you guys coming on, and really excited for the broadcast.
Absolutely. It's supposed to be two of us, but my other guy, it's an anniversary for him, so it's just me tonight. We're flying solo, but good luck to you, Rick, and maybe we'll be talking to you at the end, buddy.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, we keep you entertained enough and give you enough stuff to talk about tonight.
Right on, buddy. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the one of the head guys behind the American Sim Racing League. I hope everybody out there is doing good. I hope everybody's having a good time. We're just getting started here on the Five Kings Network YouTube channel and Five Kings Network Facebook page. And if you haven't already, go give us a like on the Five Kings Network Facebook page. We got almost 2,000 likes on our team page, Five Kings Motorsports, and so we kind of create a separate entity for Five Kings Network for the broadcasting side of things. So I mean, fetch us a bone here. Do us a favor. Go give us a like. I think we're close to about 50 likes. Just started this whole adventure about not even a month ago, but we're still learning. We're learning as we go. Like tonight, I joined in as a driver instead of a spectator, so I cannot actually see the boys go out and qualify. But as it's looking right now, it looks like Joshua Sexton is the high man on the totem pole right now with a 39:35. That's the fastest lap thus far in qualifying. I'm trying to make sure Dalton Kilroy is done with his laps. I'm going to try to pull up the guy sitting in first place in the points right now. This is Dalton Tanner Moore in the booth. You got copy.
10-4.
So I was trying to make sure you were done with your qualifying. Are you done with your qualifying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I like a dummy, like I said, I joined as a driver instead of a spectator, so that was on me. But nonetheless, coming into the night, Dalton, you got a sizable point advantage. Talk to you a little bit today. What's your goal? What's your outlook on the night? How are you going to approach the race like Michigan?
Well, I know Michigan's normally a pretty good race when it comes to having some nice hard racing throughout most of the guys that are going to be towards the front. Just looking at the qualifying times right now, just the top 7 alone are under a tenth of a second.
Yep.
From first to seventh. And that's we still got some fast guys to go. I mean, Jason Stewart hasn't turned a lap. Derek Paulson hasn't turned a lap. Scotty Stevens hasn't turned a lap. Those guys could get up there and add to the cluster in the 39 fours. But my plan is just to kind of take it easy tonight. I'm looking just mainly to try to get top 10. I'm not looking for anything special. If I can, if I pull something uh, out of my whatever,
Rand.
then it is what it is.
Right.
But I don't really need to go out and win every week. I mean, I got lucky enough throughout the season to rack up as many as I did,
9.
and that's yeah. I wasn't trying to say the number, Tanner.
right. I got the points put up on the screen right now. 9 wins of the season. That's impressive. I mean, that's
Yeah.
impressive. 10 races, 9 wins. Now it's actually been 11 races, folks, but there is a drop week, so it's showing me 9. That's still, I mean, that's home runs right there.
Yeah, and that's definitely what allowed me to have the gap that I have now, and now it's just kind of doing what I can to maintain it. I mean, if I remember right, I think the closest person to me is that 51 of Josh Sexton. So really, I forget what the number is, but I would need to lose what something like 23 points a race to him.
Yes, close to it. Close to it. My redneck math, I can't do it just quick on my head. You're sitting at 1,091 points. He's sitting at 1,012. So I mean, it is doable, but it's going to be hard. It'd be tough.
Yeah, and you know, the regular season played out how it played out, and that's what's afforded me to drive how I do tonight. So again, just looking for a top 10. If I get anything more, it's extra for me.
Well, Dalton, we'll be up in here calling the action. If maybe you can keep that nose clean of that 41 Daddy O's machine, and maybe we'll be talking to you at the end. Good luck, brother.
Thank you.
There you have it. That's the points leader of the night coming into the night, looking good, but you can hear it in his voice. Even though he does have that good of a point lead, that's a sizable points lead, folks. He's still not comfortable, and now we got second man in charge. Now Dalton won 9 races, but there was 2 races he didn't win, and we're speaking to a guy that won one of those 2 races, Mr. Joshua Sexton. This is Tanner Martin, 5 Kings Network booth. You got a copy.
I hear you, Tanner.
So I was just talking to Dalton. I talked to Rick. Coming into tonight, you got a little bit of a sizable gap between you and Dalton. I know you're pretty conservative. You don't come out and just try to. It's not checkers or wreckers with you, but when you got that type of sizable gap and you're running second to a guy like Dalton, are you swinging for the fences tonight, or are you just going to try to just be there at the end still?
Nah, I'm gonna stick with what got me here. I just wanna uh make sure I conserve my tires throughout the race in order to be here at the end. Might be starting up front here, so that'll be a good thing. It'd be nice to get that extra point. Um, if not, that'll be all right too. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick around to the front and try to save my tires.
Well, I mean, every point matters, especially in these championship battles. And like I said, you've got a win earlier this season. What track was it, Josh, that you won at? I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Texas Motor Speedway.
Okay, so I was hoping maybe you was gonna say just for the make the broadcast interesting. I was hoping you'd say like a track similar to this, but there's not a whole lot of tracks similar to Michigan. But anyways, folks, that's Joshua Sexton. Currently sitting P2. He is a little bit behind. Got him a win this season. 6 top 5s, 10 top 10s. That's a pretty good season. Josh, we'll be up in here calling the action. Maybe we'll be talking to you at the end. Good luck, brother.
Thank you.
That was Joshua Sexton, driver of the number 51 machine. And now we got to pull up the one and only. A lot of people call him Taylor, but a lot of people know him more as the Butcher. This is Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. You're in the Five Kings Network booth. You got a copy.
Yes, I do.
So I'm kind of running out of time a little bit. Had some technical hiccups behind the scenes, but all that's behind us now. Coming into Michigan, you're currently sitting P4 on the board. How are you feeling with your pace? I saw you in Dalton. You were keeping up with him whenever he was pushing really hard. How do you like your pace coming in tonight, sitting third in the points?
Yeah, I think it's was pretty solid there in practice, like you said, when I was running with Dalton. I think just take care of the car and not do anything stupid and not put myself in a precarious position, and think I can have a good shot at it at the end of the race.
All right, on Taylor. I got to kind of cut you short, brother. We'll be here calling the action, but maybe we can make up for it and talk to you at the end, all right?
I like the sound of that. Yeah, but have a good broadcast.
Yep, have a good race. Good luck to you. That's the Butcher Benjamin right there, sitting P4 in the points, or P3, excuse me. Now we're going to bring in the final playoff contender, Mr. Corey Rutherford. You got a copy before you boys go to the grid.
Yeah, I got you, Tanner.
So, Corey, you put together a great season as well. I mean, 4 top 5s, 9 top 10s. That's allowed you to go into the playoffs. I won't hold you too long because you are going to the grid right now. But coming into a track like Michigan that is really, really draft dependent, what's your outlook and how are you going to approach tonight? Are you swinging for the fences, trying to go for that elusive first win of the season?
No, I'm just gonna play it cool. Try to save equipment as best as I can. And stay with the pack, and hopefully not lose that draft that's impendent here, and just see where it lies. But I think a lot of it's gonna come down to tire saving here tonight.
Absolutely. You got 3 sets of tires, 100 laps, correct, at Michigan?
Yep.
So I mean, it's gonna be a dogfight, Corey, and I know you are really good when it comes to conserving your equipment. I see you every Sunday. I've seen you in this series when I've raced against you. So I'll be up here calling the action. Sorry I spilled over into the grid a little bit, but good luck to you, buddy, and maybe we'll be talking to you at the end, Corey.
I appreciate it, Tanner. Take care.
Yes, sir. And that was the last of our championship contenders. That was Corey Rutherford, driver of the number 5 work in progress racing machine. But now, without any further ado, it's time to go to the grid to see who's on pole for the Michigan International Speedway ASRL Michigan 100. Top man on the spot is going to be Joshua Sexton with a 39.351. Starting outside row number 1 is going to be Jason Stewart in the 304 machine. Inside row number 2, it's going to be John the Perkins out of Speed Mafia. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin representing Five Kings Motorsports on the outside of row number 2. Rounding out your top 5 qualifiers here tonight, he's got the entire country of Canada representing him. That's Brian Rainville. Dalton Kilroe, we talked to him in just a second ago. He is the points contender, points leader coming into the playoff race here tonight. Currently sitting P6 on the board. Joshua Rutherford, Corey's brother, I do believe, from Work in Progress Racing, ended up piloting his machine to a P7 grid. Starting 8th on the board, Paul Ellison. Scotty Stevens from Five Kings Motorsports starting 9th. And then Corey Rutherford, the last remaining championship contender, starting P10. Christopher Stone, Derek Paulson, that's your 11th and 12th qualifiers. Starting 13th is going to be Casey Campbell. And then you got Rick Thompson, a teammate of his out of Speed Mafia, starting 14th. 15th, Matthew Edens, Brian D, 16th. Frank Barb, 17th. 18th, Paul Hicks. And then I messed up and put my name on there, but it's not really there, so don't even mind that. Folks, we're getting ready to be green flag racing here for the first time ever for the ASRL ARCA Series here for the Michigan 100. Let me know in the comments section on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're watching the action. Who do you got tonight? What driver are you pulling for? Is there going to be another win for Dalton? Will it be win number 10 on the season? Will Joshua Sexton, John Perkins, will they get win number 2? Or will we see the first time winner of the season for the first race of the playoff series? It's all here to come, and we're going to find out the answer to every one of them questions in about 100 laps. We're waiting for that pace car to make that hard right-hand turn on the pit road. Hard left-hand turn on the pit road, excuse me. And as soon as he does, these drivers are going to wait for that green to fly, and once that green flies, they are on the loud pedal. They're going to be pushing and shoving, trying to get every spot they can. The field's in control of Joshua Sexton, 0 in the 51. Gets a good jump, but that zero machine of Jason Stewart gets a great jump as well. Jason Stewart's number is 304 in iRacing, but the number on the side of his car says 0, so I apologize in advance if I mess that up. But we're seeing Joshua Sexton kind of make a power move down to the inside. That's letting that 33 of John Perkins actually get up beside Mr. Second Place Jason Stewart here, and they are side by side throughout the field. Joshua Sexton's getting hounded on by the lead now. Just lost the lead. Surrendered it to John Perkins. We got a lead change up front, and these drivers going to be drag racing out of turn 4 at the line. Who's going to get that first lap led? Looking like Perkins. And Perkins got it at the line for lap number 1. But Jason Stewart, he's not giving up. He's going to fight on the outside of that 33 machine. Going to try to give him everything he can. Now, you got to remember, folks, it's a 100-lap race. This is a big track. Takes almost right at about 50 seconds a lap here. So, you're going to be using a lot of tires every time you go around here. You only got 2 extra sets in the pits. You got 3 total sets all together. But you can only change them twice. So, you got to be mindful of that. You got to play big picture. And one driver that's not playing big picture here tonight, that's Derek Paulson. He is up 6 spots from where he gridded, currently sitting P6. Then we got Joshua Rutherford and Christopher Stone. They're battling side by side right now, trying to figure out who's going to take that P8 spot. Got the Marvel Machine, that number 17 of the Soul Stiller, Brian Dees, to the inside now of Christopher Stone, trying to get that top 8 spot. He elects different, thinks differently of it. Ends up falling behind that 306 driver, just going to follow him into turn 3 and 4. As he starts to look underneath that driver coming out of turn 4 here, they're going to be drag racing. They're double file in front, double file in the back. These boys, they're racing. These restarts right here are key. That initial start, you see, he gets a great run up to that 302. These drivers are thinking about going 3 wide, thought better of it, jumped out of it. That 306 is really close to getting into the wall. Got to be careful in these ARCA cars. If you get up there and hit that wall, something to do with the physics model and the way this car works, it wants to suction cup you to that wall. But luckily for that driver, it didn't happen. A little bit further back, sitting in the 11th spot, championship contender here, Rick Thompson at number 76. That's a beautiful machine there. He's currently trying to work over and get past Mr. Josh Rutherford. The story hasn't changed up front. Jason Stewart almost opened up to a 9/10 of a second gap over John Perkins. John Perkins. I meant to say Taylor the Butcher. I thought he was in second, but he wasn't. That's Mr. John Perkins in the 33, sitting P2, trying to chase down Jason Stewart, but Jason Stewart looks to have great pace. I want to jump on board with Jason Stewart here. Let's see how he's attacking this racetrack here. He was actually the fastest car that time by a long shot, according to lap times. You can hear it in the throttle right there. Not a whole lot of off throttle time, and you never really fully lift. This is a very, very fast track, but it's all about momentum too. You got to try to keep your momentum, and that's why these drivers, they're not lifting out all the way. And you see, he's pretty steady with the wheel. I talked to a few drivers before we went live here tonight, and they were telling me that the setup felt pretty good. It could be a tad on the loose side if you overdrove it, but for the most part, it was actually feeling pretty good, and the balance was feeling great. And that's what you want as a race car driver. You want to make sure that balance is always to your liking, because then you can really attack these corners like you see Jason Stewart doing. Now he's opened it up to a full second lead over John Perkins. But you got to wonder, is he asking too much? Is Jason Stewart asking too much out of those 4 Mr. Feelgoods, those 4 tires? This early in the race, we're coming to lap 8 this time around. That's going to be a storyline to watch as we keep going here, folks. Our pole sitter has fallen back to P4. That's Joshua Sexton trying to chase down fellow teammate Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. Got Dalton Kilroy behind him. Brian Rainville on the outside of the top 5. That's a good-looking car. Might be a contender for the MF Racing Design's best paint of the night. And speaking of MF Racing Designs, if you need a wrap or a paint scheme for your sim racing car on iRacing, look no further than MF Racing Designs. Check him out on Facebook. Michael Falk, he puts together some insane schemes like this one right here. This scheme, this paint scheme, it's so elaborate, it's so detailed that it's actually really hard to get the full, we'll call it the full picture of this scheme unless you just stop that car and just start looking around it. There's so much going on. It's a Marvel themed car. You see the X-Men on the side and all that. So my superhero fans out there, if you like them, if you're into superhero movies, I know you got to be pulling for that number 17 Brian D's driven machine. And then we have It's Great sitting 14th. That's Corey Rutherford with Tony the Tiger on his hood. That's from Work in Progress Racing right there. On the inside of Scotty Stevens. Scotty Stevens is in the FB Sim Racing Custom Button Box Machine. MF Racing Designs, 5 Kings Motorsports. He's another driver looking to just make a noise here. He has not ran all the races this season. He's only ran a handful of them. So he's trying to just come out and basically he's here just for the fun of it. And that's what we love here at 5 Kings Network. It's not all about the wins. It's not all about the spins. Sometimes people forget, but it's all about who's having the most fun. And this series right here, American Sim Racing League, ASRL, their ARCA series, their dirt series on Sunday. If you want fun, this is good fun right here. As we head back out front, now the gap from Stewart to Perkins in second place is almost 1.5 seconds. It's opening up and it just keeps growing. Is that driver asking too much out of his equipment though? That Stewart Farms sponsored number 0. There it has the AC Delco old school type paint scheme vibe to it. I mean, he has a great sizable lead right now. That driver is comfortable right now. But 20 or so more laps into this run, will them tires allow him to be that comfortable? As I'm looking through the grid, trying to see who our biggest mover is thus far. We got 2 shakers for the biggest mover. We got Rick Thompson at 76 machine. Started 14th up to P9. And then we have Derek Paulson started 12th. Worked his way up to P7 in the Mark Martin inspired number 6 MF Racing Designs machine. There you see these drivers. They are doing everything they can right now to maintain pace with that leader, Jason Stewart. But at this point, I'm starting to see that Jason Stewart, he's starting to actually fall back a little bit to John Perkins. Went from about a 1.6 second interval gap to now it's down to 1.4. You could be starting to see those tires start to play a factor into this race. As you see there, I mean, Perkins is getting into the picture. He's getting into the screen right here. He's got a hard charge and Taylor the Butcher Benjamin right there behind him. If these drivers can work together and not get side by side and start racing, they might be able to get there to Mr. Jason Stewart up front. Interval's now down to 1.25 of a second, so they are, in fact, closing in on the race leader right now, Jason Stewart. As you look back to him, this is what Jason wants right here. He wants them drivers to, he wants those cars in his mirror to remain small. Once they start getting bigger, then you know the pressure's on. And once you start having to watch that mirror more than you're watching out that windshield, that's when little mistakes happen. And all it takes is one small mistake to cause a catastrophic mistake. And then before you know it, you went from hero leading the race to 0 sitting in the pits trying to get some damage fixed. And that's another thing I love about this series. No fast repair. No mulligan. I mean, you got what you got. You're not gambling with house money. You're gambling with your own money. If you wreck the car, you're going to have to get it fixed. You don't have a reset. None of that. So I think that's why we have such good racing here, because drivers know that. They know, hey, if I go up here and hit this driver, he wrecks, I wreck, well, then both our races are virtually done. So that makes people be a little bit more cautious. But as I say that, these drivers right here, they're pushing hard. Perkins is pushing. He's trying to get there, Jason Stewart. I mean, the gap's actually kind of just plateaued again. It's right at about 1.3 seconds, so not making a whole lot of ground up on that driver. And there's no stage breaks in this race, no cautions. If this thing was to flag, then that's what it's going to be. It's all in the hands of the drivers. They determine when that caution falls tonight. And like I said, I've done all the races leading up till tonight. This is my first night broadcasting for them, and I'm sure I could count on one hand how many cautions we've actually had all season long. As we see Taylor the Butcher Benjamin kind of try to put a nose underneath that 33, not able to actually carry enough momentum to get there right then. But he's going to be looking going into 3 and 4 here. I mean, they are side by side now. Butcher's going to try to drive it off into 3 and 4. That bottom lane, though, is not the preferred lane when you go to pass whenever you're running on about 16 lap old tires. Is Perkins going to cut him a break and let the Butcher go? No, they are still side by side at the line. Advantage to Perkins that time by. And all the while, Jason Stewart out front, he loves seeing this in his mirror. Once those drivers get side by side, they're not turning nearly as fast of laps as they was beforehand. Taylor's actually getting a little bit loose right there on the bottom, having to chase that car a little bit. And just not able to put the momentum down. That's allowing Joshua Sexton and Dalton Kilroy and Brian Rainville. Actually, no, Brian Rainville he's sitting 6, okay. But that's allowing those other drivers to catch Perkins and the Butcher here. You can throw a blanket over second, third, fourth. What's going to happen here? This is going to be the battle right here. If they can get around Perkins, then they got to try to chase down the elusive man up front. That's Jason Stewart up front. Still with a very comfortable lead as these drivers start to battle. Lead's then opened up to a 1.7 second gap. As I come over here to look at the Facebook comments, I see Let's Go Unk by Connor Cheeser, and then Sabby Brady says Let's Go Unk. So we got some nephews or some nieces in here wanting to see their aunt and uncle do good. Got some nephews or some nieces in here. I apologize for that as we come over here to the Facebook chat. Let me know, folks, who do y'all got tonight? Who's your pick to win tonight? Who do you think is a dark horse contender? I mean, coming into the night, I don't know if I would have necessarily picked Jason Stewart as the winner. And that's not a knock on Jason Stewart, because he has been fast all season long. He's been a contender all season long. But I mean, he's showing some out of this world speed right now, folks. Just out of this world. Still, that time by, the fastest car on track, Jason Stewart, by a tenth. I mean, it's up to 1.8 second gap now. If we go a little bit further back in the field, there's 300 Chevy of Brian Rainville. Got the whole country of Canada representing from one man, Brian Rainville. You know they're cheering him on here. I actually got the Camry on it, Toyota Camry. And we go a little bit further on back in the field. We got Rick Thompson currently sitting 8th. He wants to get as many points as he can. I'm going to say it all night. That's a championship contender right there. There's 5 playoff contenders, and Rick Thompson is one of them. And I'm starting to see pit road become kind of busy here. That's right. I forgot. That's on me. These drivers can go about 20 to 21 laps on fuel. They went 21 here, so they may be trying to stretch as much as they can, but if I had to guess here, Jason Stewart was only 2 sets of tires in the pits. This is going to be a fuel-only run. He's going to get that car full of Sunoco racing fuel and then be on his way. And, yep, that's exactly what he did. Brian Rainville does the same thing. Mr. D's in that X-Men number 17 machine. Going to fill that car up with Sunoco racing fuel and be on his way as well. Frank Barbary, they're behind him. They're already getting their pit stops out of the way. And now the leaders are coming. Big pack coming to pit road. You got to be careful when you do this. It can get dangerous. They all made it fairly good. We got John Perkins, Taylor the Butcher, Dalton Kilroy, Joshua Sexton. I mean, it's a very, very busy pit lane now. That's going to allow Corey Rutherford to get up there and get him a lap lead. That's a valuable point right there, folks, when you're talking playoffs. Championship contender there with Casey Campbell right there behind him, Matthew Edens, and the number 88 replica Dellen Hart Jr. Hendrick Motorsports machine. I would have to guess they got to come this time by. They're cutting the fuel really short. And it looks like Dalton Kilrow may win the battle off pit road. Nope. Jason Stewart's going to have the speed. Already at the momentum getting loose right there, though. Now, these cars right now, folks, they're going to get really loose now compared to what they just were. And that's all because they did not change tires. There may have been some people that changed tires. I'll check in just a second. But they're putting all that fuel in the fuel cell in the back of the car. It's putting all that weight back there. And that's what we're seeing here. If these guys thought they were loose before, you add all that extra weight to the rear end, man, oh man, you're going to get a lot looser. And we're already seeing that with Jason Stewart. He's really having to chase that car as Jason Stewart back to the lead's position. Got Dalton Kilrow, a new face behind him. But Dalton is 1.66 seconds back. So, got a mountain to climb if he wants to get up to Jason Stewart. But that's your points leader right there, Dalton Kilrow. John Perkins had a little bit slower of a stop. That's going to put him out P3 with the Butcher hounding him right now. It's like deja vu from earlier. We saw Corey Rutherford. He got up there and got him a lap lead. Played the strategy right, got him a lap lead. I hope he don't get a black flag right there for coming up on track a little bit. That's something that's pretty wonky about iRacing. That's something to keep our eye on here, folks. But got him up there, got him a lap leg, going to lose a few spots, but may be able to get those back. He was running about 8th, 9th place. He's currently fighting for 12th here. So, was that extra point worth it? We don't know yet. It's just something you got to wait and see. That interval between first place and second place is now starting to creep down. Dalton Kilrow is getting bigger in Jason Stewart's mirror, but not big enough to be a threat yet. Jason just needs to keep on doing what he's doing. Just keep on turning laps. Just clicking off laps as you go. As we're now 1/4 of the way coming this time by. 25 laps. This is lap number 25 here. Man, oh man, kudos to these drivers for keeping it clean out there. You got about 18, 19 of some of the best iRacing drivers that there is out here battling on track right now, and they're all doing it. They're racing hard, but they're doing it cleanly, and that's what we love, and that's what we promote here at Five Kings Network. As we go a little bit further on back in the pack, got Joshua Rutherford. He was a driver we saw electing to run the high lane. We got Taylor the Butcher Benjamin blinking. Oh, okay. It was showing me that he went down a pit road. But, yeah, so Joshua Rutherford, he's one of the drivers electing to run a little bit higher up. He's not running the typical seam at Michigan. He's running basically the Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick type line where he's ripping that high side, and he's doing a good job at it. He's only lost one spot from the grid, and that's never a bad thing. If you can only lose one spot from your grid whenever you've already had your green flag stops. Somebody like me, I'm terrible with green flag stops. I'm so conservative getting on the pit road and getting off pit road that I leave a little bit of time on the table. But as you can see, like Dalton Kilrow, he went in actually 5th, came out 2nd because he was able to just get on and get off pit road the quickest. And it shows with his pit lane time. He was actually 5/10 faster than the group he went in with in terms of how long he was on pit road versus everybody else. And that's what creates champions, folks. And that's why Dalton has won 9 races. He's golden when it comes to getting on pit road and getting off pit road. This battle right here, I mean, these two right here, they're probably tired of seeing each other. John Perkins, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, they have been nose to tail this entire race with a lagging 51. That butt kicker machine of Joshua Sexton, MF Racing Design's very own, trying to throw his name into the hat. But for the most part, it's been the Butcher and Perkins sitting there, nose to tail. As we look at this Menards machine of Paul Ellison, got playoff contender Corey Rutherford right there behind him. It's going to be a battle for 11th here. You're starting to notice all these different little clusters of cars. You'll have about 3 to 4 cars racing pretty hard, then you'll see a gap, and then you'll see about 3 to 4 cars, and then you'll see a gap. And that's what these races end up being whenever they go green for this long. As we want to update on the leader, update is same old, but I can tell that the gap has started to close a little bit more. Now under a second to Dalton Kilroy behind him in second. About 8 tenths out. So it's interesting to see, are those tires starting to hit that mark? They can go about 20 laps, 21 laps on fuel. We know Dalton and the group pitted a little bit later than Jason Stewart and his group did. Jason Stewart pitted on lap 20. Dalton pitted on 21. Brian Rainville, he also pitted on lap 20. Frank Barr pitted on lap 20. And then the rest of them were 21, and there was a few, very, very handful of few pitted on 22. And those few are, it's just two. It was Corey Rutherford and Casey Campbell. Both those drivers were able to stretch out their fuel just enough to get down and go an extra lap. We got a action on pit road again. We got Matthew Edens coming in here, pitting on lap 25. Or his last pit was on lap 25. And then he just came in right there on lap 30. I'm not sure. Maybe he took his tires right then. The gap is now underneath 5 tenths. Cue the Jaws music. I know that's what Dalton's saying in Discord right now. Dun-up, dun-up. But you know Jason Stewart, these guys, they work together. They know each other in real life. Jason Stewart gets a little bit loose. That's going to allow Dalton to really start closing the gap on him. I'm telling you, folks, these tires are really starting to show their wear and tear now. They are 31 laps in at Michigan. Let's see what the want to see what the track temp is. 99 degrees, so it's a very, very hot, slick surface. Put that fuel cell full of fuel, and then you got a recipe for disaster. And that's what's happening right now with Jason Stewart. He's having to wheel that machine. The battle is now heating up towards the front. You got Jason Stewart leading Dalton Kilroy here for the ASRL Michigan 100. Is Dalton just pacing the zero car now? Or is he going to try to get up there and muscle the lead away from his buddy Jason Stewart? I don't think that's going to be a question we're going to ask much longer, because we're getting ready to find out here, folks. He drives it right up to his bumper. Dalton Kilroy's looking down low at the line. Advantage to Jason Stewart that time by, but will it be the same this next time around? Dalton Kilroy, he's down underneath that zero car. Going to try to drive it in there a few car lengths deeper. Is he going to try to slide up and clear that zero machine? Not able to do it yet. The zero's going to have the momentum coming off turn 2. They're sliding the back ends of them cars. They're drag racing down the backstretch. Dalton's got to be careful and not fall in a trap here. If he's not able to pass this driver fairly quick, you're going to really start using up your tires down there if you're not careful. There you see, he was able to clear him for a second, but that high side, he's able to clear him. We got a new race leader of Dalton Kilroy. But Jason Stewart, he won't say he die. He's going to stay right there with Dalton. He's going to hound him. He's going to try to put the pressure on Dalton. Try to force a mistake to come out of that 41 machine. But man, oh man, Jason is ripping the wall now, trying to get all the momentum he can going down the backstretch. Is he going to be able to drive up to the back bumper of Dalton Kilroy here? Kilroy had a very solid line that time around. Now we got Dalton just sitting pretty comfortably now. Jason Stewart's going to try to regroup and collect his thoughts and get back up there with Dalton and try to battle him again. He is really having to wheel that machine. I mean, we saw him earlier in cockpit. Let's go back in cockpit. Now, folks, anytime that wheel turns right, so right there, it's actually straight. The way he has his offset is kind of cocked to the right, but anytime we're going to see that wheel jerk to the right, that car is very, very loose, and he's trying to drive it and maintain it. So let's see what we look like here. Pretty steady. It's turned to the right a little bit where he's catching it. That wasn't too bad. Let's see how he is in 3 and 4 here. Going to get that pull from Dalton Kilroy, that draft. That's going to allow him to be a few miles per hour faster now that he has somebody in front of him. But then that dirty air is also going to work against him. Yeah, see, he's cutting that wheel right more than he's cutting left in the corner. And that means he's, ooh, yeah, he is. He's loose. He's battling loose conditions right now. But he just needs to hold on for a few more laps and he'll be able to pit. I know a driver went about 42, 43 laps and their tires were in underneath 50%. So there is some significant tire wear here tonight. So I'd say the effects on that zero machine, well, all these cars really, they didn't take tires, but that zero machine, we saw him have the best and fastest pace all night. You know he's really starting to feel it. Man, oh man, I love Green Flag Racing. As we come back and we look at another championship contender here, Rick Thompson in that Dodge machine. He's trying to get up to John Perkins. We've seen Perkins actually, whenever he pitted, he came out in front of the Butcher, but lost one spot to Dalton. And now we're starting to see him. He's falling back 2 spots, and now we got pit road starting to get. Oh no, we got Brian D's wrecking on the pit road. Oh no, I'm not sure if that driver was trying to come down pit road or if he just had a mistake. Let's see if it'll show me. So you see D's here. Oh, he's just trying to get on pit road, get that car slowed up. Not able to get it slowed up enough. I'm curious to see if he gets a speeding penalty here or not, folks. He came in pretty hot and heavy there. I expect pit road to become really busy in about 2 to 3 laps here. This will be the man to watch. I think whenever Jason Stewart pits, you're going to see a plethora of drivers start to come behind him. Who's going to pit? When's the time right? Nobody ever knows exactly when to pit. That's what, I mean, it's just one big game. You're always wondering, is it the right time to pit or not? Just have to wait and see here. Brian D still on pit road, having a very long stop. There's something went awry with that machine there, I do believe. He is now rolling off the pits, the Soul Stealer, Mr. Brian D's in the number 17 machine. He is now rolling, exiting pit road. Dalton Kilroy's up front, and he's now opened it up to a 1.6 second lead over Jason Stewart. Jason Stewart is falling back a little bit here. Maybe something happened to that driver. I'm not exactly sure, but he lost a lot of momentum and speed. Trying to see if maybe he got into the wall. I don't see any type of incident or any type of damage, but man, oh man, they are racing hard right now for second, third, fourth, fifth spot. Advantage to the Butcher that time by, but Jason Stewart's rallying back. He's going to try to fight hard on the outside lane here. Is he able to make it stick? He is not able to make it stick just yet. Trying to battle Joshua Sexton now. They're side by side. Advantage a little bit to Jason Stewart. He's to the inside. 51's to his inside. Going to bring that 33 with him now. Can Sexton have the momentum to carry off and clear this driver here? He's still in front. He's going to slide up. Now the battle is going to be between Perkins and Stewart. Who's going to win this battle? Looks like Perkins got it. Looks like Stewart just kind of let him go right then. I'm expecting Stewart to pit pretty quick. We got Derek Paulson on pit lane here now as well. About to be a busy pit road, I think. Once one of these top 6, 7 drivers elect to pit, that's when people are going to start going in. And you just got to be careful when you go with a lot of people, because we saw it with Brian D's. A very tricky pit road to enter here because it's narrow, but it's also a very fast track, and you got to try to get everything you can before you got to slow down. And that's what we saw with Brian D's, and number 17 just waited a little bit too long to slow down, and it ended up costing him. All right, pit road's busy now, folks. Got John Perkins on, Jason Stewart's on. Is anybody else going to follow? Rick Thompson has elected to come. Scotty Stevens, he's running 7th. He stayed out. Going to take another lap around. Brian Rainville, he stayed out. So we've got 3 cars elected to pit here now. Perkins, Stewart, and Thompson. When are these others going to come? Dalton Kilroy's opened it up to a 1.8 second lead over second place Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. When's the ice going to break? When's he going to break the ice and come in and pit? It's not too far away. He's actually electing to come now. Leader down pit road. Is he going to surrender the lead to Taylor the Butcher Benjamin? Taylor the Butcher goes by. Joshua Sexton goes by. Scotty Stevens goes by. I do believe, not yet. Scotty Stevens, is Scotty going to pit? He's the next guy in line, sitting 4th. Scotty elects to go another lap around. So even with the leader pitting, we got Brian Rainville choosing to go down pit road. So Dalton and Brian Rainville. So there's still quite a bit of drivers that have not pitted yet. You know what they're waiting for. They would love to see a caution right now. to try to maybe trap some of these guys that had pit a lap down. Right now, John Perkins, Jason Stewart, Derek Paulson, Rick Thompson, Paul Ellis, and Frank Barr, Brian Dees, Paul Hicks, Christopher Stone, and Matthew Edens are all laps down. The Butcher coming down pit road. Joshua Sexton coming down pit road. I would have to imagine Scotty Stevens is going to come this time by. Scotty Stevens will be coming down pit road. You just saw Brian Dees hustling and bustling right there and trying to get a lap back. Will Joshua Rutherford, is he going to come? Joshua Rutherford's coming. So now a very, very busy pit lane. And I think we're going to see the rest of our drivers. If they're not pitting this lap, they got to pit next lap around. Now, we did see Corey Rutherford earlier. He was able to stay out about 2 extra laps versus everybody else. Let's see what that driver, the number 5, Tony the Tiger, work in progress machine, see what he's able to do here. The extra bonus points are nice when you are able to get up there and lead a lap. But you are losing so much time to the guys that have already elected to pit. They're going to be about almost a full second faster than what you are on old tires, just because that's the difference between fresh rubber and old rubber. And right now, the last 2 drivers that have not pitted yet, Casey Campbell in the number 73, and then of course Corey Rutherford in number 5. Man, oh man, my voice is going, folks. It's almost shot. We're not even halfway yet. Broadcasted last night by myself, broadcasting tonight. Got another race tomorrow for the Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gears Series. That's a truck series. They're also in the playoffs. Be sure to check us out. We'll be live tomorrow at 8:30 Central. Corey Rutherford finally electing to pull that machine down. Will Casey Campbell follow? From Speed Mafia, Casey Campbell is going to come as well. That's going to allow Dalton Kilrow, once he gets up here and cycles past those drivers, Dalton will be the race leader once again with John Perkins right behind him. Perkins had a great stop this time around, and that's allowed him to be right there with Dalton now. Dalton's under a second ahead of him. Will Perkins be able to drive that number 41 down here? You don't want to let Dalton get too far out ahead. But you also don't want to abuse your tires this early in the run. So you got to think risk versus reward. Advantage still to Dalton Kilrow out front. Got John Perkins running P2. Jason Stewart sitting P3. The Butcher started 4th. He's sitting 4th. Derek Paulson sitting in P5 right now. Joshua Sexton sitting P6. That was our post sitter of the night. Rick Thompson, he's had a great race thus far, up 7 spots. Currently sitting P7. Brian Rainfield sitting P8. Scotty Stevens in the 309 Five Kings machine sitting 9th. Joshua Rutherford and then his brother Corey Rutherford. It's a family affair for 10th and 11th. Paul Ellison sitting P12. Frank Barr rolling off P13. Casey Campbell P14. And Brian Dees, he's trying to have a bounce back. Right here, we saw him getting a little bit of an incident coming on pit road that really, really hurt him. He lost a lot of time to our leaders on the track. Actually shown as a lap down now. Will he be able to get up there and get in that lucky dog spot? That's something that we got to keep our eye on. As the lead up front is actually gaining now. It's actually over a second. Dalton Kilrow has over a second advantage over John Perkins. Dalton said he just wanted to come out here and be conservative, but he don't like he's conserving too much right now. Race leaders, we have a pass for second trying to transpire right now. Got the zero machine of Jason Stewart to the inside of John Perkins. Will those fresh tires pay off right now? Is he going to be able to make that stick? Going to need the momentum to get up there and slide up in front of that driver of the number 33. Able to do it. Mission successful. Now, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, he's going to try to look to do the same thing. Nope, he's going to fall in line right there and try his hand at another time. But P2 is now Jason Stewart, that number 0, AC Delco replica Stewart Farms machine. as these drivers there keep just turning laps. They're trying to click off these laps and get to that end goal of a lap 100. Who will be there at the end? Who's going to lead when it's all said and done? But right now, I think it's time for our MF Racing Designs Best Paint Scheme of the Night. Let me know out there, folks. Who do you think has the best looking car here tonight? Let's see. I'm going to go through the field and try to make this choice. I'm a paint scheme fanatic, so I love paint schemes. I love that Daddy O's machine of Dalton Kilroy. I love the AC Delco. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, that's an old team scheme. So he's actually a part of Five Kings Motorsports. That's a top flight scheme. John Perkins, that gives me the old, it's like an old school type vibe to it. Almost like a baseball. And you see the baseball threading through it. That's another good looking machine. Derek Paulson, that's the driver of the Mark Martin replica. Joshua Sexton in the 51. Rick Thompson, 76. Scotty Stevens, 309. You got 306. I don't know, folks. It's really, really hard to give a best paint design until you see a car like this right here. My MF Race Designs Best Paint Scheme of the Night, hands down, no questions asked, goes to Brian Dees in the number 17 machine. Saw him have a little incident earlier. Will he be able to battle back? Will he be able to regain health like Wolverine does? You see X-Men on the quarter panel of his cars, Avengers on the other side. That's your MF Race Designs Best Paint Scheme of the Night to the driver number 17, Brian Dees. And don't forget, folks, if you need a paint scheme for your iRacing car, it don't matter which car it is. It could be asphalt, dirt, road course, rallycross. If you need a paint scheme, look up MF Racing Designs on Facebook. Michael will hook you up. And the thing I love most about Michael, he will work with you until you are 100% satisfied with your paint scheme. That's MF Racing Designs over on Facebook.com. As we are now over halfway complete with this race, coming to lap 54 this time around. Dalton Kilroy still has the advantage out front. Taylor the Butcher trying to make a pass over Jason Stewart for second. Is he going to be able to complete it? I think he is. Should be able to clear that driver in the zero machine there. Jason Stewart kind of just let him go, I think. Didn't really fight him off too hard. Got John Perkins coming up on lap traffic. Will that slow him down a little bit? The 302, that is Christopher Stone. I'm sure he'll just kind of go high and let Perkins go around him, but still, that dirty air, will that kill his momentum and allow Joshua Sexton and Derek Paulson to get up there to him? We're going to find out here in just a second. Still looking good right now. That's John Perkins sitting P4. Running out your top 5 runners right now, as is Joshua Sexton in that 51 machine. Derek Paulson is right there with the Casey Campbell, who is a lap down, trying to fight up there and get his lap back. Derek Paulson sitting P6 in the number 6 machine. And then championship contender here, Rick Thompson. He's usually pretty quiet at the start of these races. He's one of those drivers where if you're up front, you may not see him all race. Then the last 20 laps, you'll see that 76 pass you in a blur because he's very, very good at saving his equipment and being there at the end when it counts. And I think that's kind of what he's doing right now. He's playing chess right now, I do believe. I think he's just kind of saving his equipment. There's one set of tires left in the pits. When is the right time to come in and take that set of tires? That's the $1 million question. And there's 19, 18 drivers out here that wish they knew the correct answer to try to get the win tonight. Scotty Stevens sitting P8. And then, like I said earlier, it's a family affair in the 9th and 10th spot with Joshua Rutherford sitting P9 and Corey Rutherford sitting P10. Corey's the one in the playoffs. Top 5 in the points. Remember, they transferred over to the playoffs. Points got reset for them. Who is going to be able to claim the champion of the ASRL ARCA Series number 1, Season 1? Who will be champion? We were going to find out in 2 races after tonight. as we're getting ready to go to a turn it up segment here. We're going to crank it up loud, let you hear these engines as they roar around this 2 mile Michigan International Speedway. We'll be right back, and you won't miss a second for the Five Kings Network. Turn it up. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back. We are back. We saw Jason Stewart, John Perkins. They elected to go down pit road. Frank Barb is now down pit road. I do apologize for the extended turn it up. That gives me a break, just kind of rest my voice a little bit. Been losing my voice ever since last night. My throat is hurting pretty bad, but we're still here. Dalton Kilroy is going to surrender the lead to the Butcher Benjamin. Dalton Kilroy is now on pit road. Will he take his last set of tires here? I think it's a little early for that. Let's keep the camera on him, see what this driver elects to do. Is it going to just be fuel it up with some Sunoco racing fuel, or is he going to elect to take his tires? We're going to have to wait and see here. That car is not being jacked up, so just going to fill it up with some racing fuel and try to get back out as quick as he can. Now the field is in the hands of Taylor, the Butcher, Benjamin, and that 311 Chevy machine. That's a good looking paint scheme as well. Also painted by the one and only MF Racing Designs. That's the master painter himself, Michael Falk. But Taylor Butcher's leading, with Joshua Sexton now electing to go down pit road. Will others follow? Let's just wait and see. Scotty Stevens still out on track. Is Corey going to try to cycle through and get another lap led? Or is he going to try to get on cycle with these guys? He's been off cycle all race by a few laps. What's this number 5 machine going to do as Scotty Stevens has now hit pit road? Corey, he just passed pit lane. He's going for another lap around this 2-mile oval. We've saw Jason Stewart pit. John Perkins, Derek Paulson, Rick Thompson has pitted. Joshua Rutherford pitted on lap 59. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin has now pitted. That's going to allow Corey Rutherford to get up there and get him another lap led for the night. Unless that driver elects to come in and pit this time by. Let's see if the Butcher, if he's going to elect to take 4 tires now, try to get off cycle from his teammate Dalton, or if he's going to just fill it up with racing fuel. He's not getting no tires as well. He's going to take some racing fuel only. Going to try to have the quickest stop he can. Got Corey Rutherford coming now. Going to try to take the lead from him. New leader up front in the ASRL Michigan 100. Corey Rutherford, number 5. Work in progress. Tony the Tiger Machine. Connor Cheeser says Matthew Edens for the best paint scheme of the night. And that Mountain Dew replica paint scheme of Dellenhart Jr. We'll put him on screen. Well, we can't. He's not here no more. I click on him and it don't show him. But still, that was a good looking scheme. That was one of my favorite Dellenhart Jr. schemes. Now, I'm kind of biased. I'm a little bit older. I'm almost 30, so I like Junior when he was in the red Bud 8. But there is people that prefer the Mountain Dew one. And that's fine because I like it. I like it too, but I just like the Bud 8 a lot better. Corey Rutherford really stretching this out this time. Still not elected to pit yet. Everybody else has cycled already. There's 2 drivers that have not pitted. There's 2 drivers we saw stretch it out earlier. That is Casey Campbell and Corey Rutherford. How much farther will they go on this tank of fuel here? Corey's starting to slow down. He's going to be in this time around. That's going to allow the lead to go back to Dalton Kilrow as he just goes by. Coming to lap 69 that time by. The Butcher has pit. Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. I was going to say, iRacing scoring and timing is throwing me for loops. Let's see if I can get Miss Emily Jane to bring me a Raise Energy. Let's see. What do you think, folks? You think the over-under on the chances that she brings me one? I'll give you a 50% gap. You can go over or under. I will let you know here in just a second. But yes, if you want to skip going to the store right now, you can order a box of Raise Energy. Use promo code number 5 and then the word Kings, Kings. Again, that is number 5, Kings. Get you 10% off your entire order. And she is going to raise me, so that's a mighty fine woman we got there. Emily Jane going to try to bring me Raise Energy, give me the energy needed to get through this action-packed race here at the ASRL Michigan 100 American Sim Racing League. Check them out on iRacing, folks. If you like dirt racing or asphalt racing, we got ARCA on Wednesday night. Then we got the dirt action every day on Sunday around noon. A little bit different time frame for most series, but if you're not going to church or something like that, you can hit up their dirt series on Sunday afternoons. Well, Emily Jane is bringing me a drink, so for the ones that said over 50%, you are correct. Thank you, babe. Now we should have the energy needed to call the last 30 laps of this race here. Dalton Kilrow out front by almost 4-second lead over second place Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. Jason Stewart sitting P3. Mr. Perkins in the number 33. He's sitting P4. Derek Paulson sitting P5. Joshua Sexton P6. And then Rick Thompson P7. While we're here right now, I want to I want to pull up the points graphic again in just a second. Bear with me real quick. Pull up the points picture right there. And now you see the top 5 are our playoff contenders. We have Dalton Kilrow, Joshua Sexton, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, Corey Rutherford, and Rick Thompson. Those are your playoff drivers right now. And so they all want to finish ahead of whatever playoff driver they are racing with right now. So that's the go at hand coming into the first race of the playoffs. And you know that's what each of these drivers are trying to do. But right now, it's Dalton Kilrow out front, getting the most points possible with the hard charging Taylor the Butcher Benjamin sitting P2. Dalton told us in the pre-race interview, we talked to all 5 playoff drivers. You can rewind it back at the end of the race and go back and listen to it if you like. But Dalton told us that he was going to come out and try to be somewhat conservative. If he finished within the top 10, he said he would be happy. Well, right now he's got to be ecstatic then, because he is currently sitting first with a very, very sizable lead. Now, we've seen Jason Stewart earlier in this Zero machine. He was able to jump out to a good lead. But nobody's been able to do it like Dalton has thus far. Now, that tells me clean air is pretty important here. But Dalton also has some great pace right now. He was really manhandling the car in practice. He was overdriving it, he told us, to try to see what the car would react like if it ever came to having to drive like that. So he knows if he has to, he can find that extra gear. But the same said for all these drivers out here. Like I said, I've said it 2 other times this race. The talent in this field is out of this world. I mean, yes, there's a lot of good racing leagues on iRacing, but I would put the top 5, top 10 from this series up against any series there is out there. This series is head and shoulders one of the best series I've ever been in. And that's why I was so excited to bring 5 Kings Network on board with Rick and them, and ASRL, American Sim Racing League. Was so excited to partner with them and bring the action to y'all live every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We're now coming to a quarter of the way to go. We are 3/4 done with this race. These last 25 laps is going to be make or break. Now, I got a question. If you're Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, if you're Jason Stewart, you know now you don't really have the pace to match Dalton. Do you try to pit? Ooh, Taylor the Butcher gets a little bit loose, walks it up to the wall there. Great heads up driving by that number 311 machine to not get into the wall. But if you're one of these drivers that have not been able to match Mr. Kilrow in terms of speed, do you try to short pit your stint right here and try to get the most out of fresh tires when he's on old tires? But Dalton, on the other hand, if he sees his competition go down pit road, is that going to force his hand to pit a little bit earlier than what he'd like? Yes, you'd always want your freshest tires for the end of the race, but if Dalton can stay out there, and Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, Jason Stewart, John Perkins, if one of them drivers was to short pit, get fresh tires, and go out there for about 5 laps on fresh tires while Dalton's on old tires, they might be able to muscle the lead from him and then have a sizable enough advantage over Dalton to try to win this race. And, I mean, that's what it's looking like it's going to take now, folks. Somebody's going to have to get off cycle with Dalton in order to beat him, because Dalton looks like he has the pace needed right now to secure win number 10 of the season. He is a master in these ARCA cars. I mean, we have just seen it firsthand here tonight. Jason Stewart was looking really fast all night, trying to make a power move over John Perkins on the outside. Is Perkins going to be able to make it stick and take P3 away? I got that backward. Is Jason going to be able to make it stick and take P3 away? It's going to be close as they come out of this corner here. Jason will have the momentum on that high side. Is he going to be able to? Nope. John Perkins slides up right in front of him, kills the momentum of that Zero car. Now John Perkins sitting P3, going to try to chase down. First, he's got to get the Butcher, and then he's going to try to reel in Dalton Kilrow. Fastest car that time on the track was none other than the man, Rick Thompson. Sitting P7 right now. Rick Thompson was the fastest car on the track that time around. Dalton Kilrose opened it up. I mean, it's still hovering right about 3.8 tenths of a second lead. Sitting really comfortable right now. You got to just be careful. You don't want to get too comfortable. You want to try to maintain that gap at this point. If I'm Dalton, I'm not trying to increase that gap, but I'm also trying not to lose that gap too much. You just got to find that middle ground. Where's that middle ground at? As we're coming to 21 laps to go, this time by for the ASRL Michigan 100. Matt Gardner up in the chat. He just said, "What's up? What's up to you, buddy?" Sitting here watching the action, calling all the action for the American Sim Racing League Series. Enjoying it. I want to give a shout out to the Islands Custom Woodcrafters for all your custom wood needs. They can do trophies, for example. They can do anything you need with wood. That's Island Custom Woodcrafts. Check them out on Facebook, the Island 16. Matt, I'll tell you, from calling the action last night to then calling this action here tonight, I have completely lost my voice, brother. The voice is completely gone. But we are going to try to power through and make it till the end. We're 20 laps to go now, Matt. It's getting ready to be gut check time. What's these drivers going to do? Who's going to be the first driver to go down pit road here and get that last good for Mr. Feelgood's? Answer to that question is John Perkins, Rick Thompson. They are now on pit road, getting their service from their pit crew. 4 fresh tires for John Perkins, Rick Thompson. Now, will that force the hand of the other drivers around, or will they stick to the plan? We're just going to wait and find out. The Butcher passes pit road. He's not pitting. Jason Stewart is not pitting. Who's going to be the next driver to pit here? Dalton Kilroe still out front. Very sizable, great lead right here for that driver, seeking win number 10. Got the Butcher behind him, seeking his first win of the season. Now Scotty Stevens taking his ride down pit road. Joshua Rutherford going down pit road. Brian D's going down pit road. So now we're starting to see the shakeup with pits. Green flag pit stops. This is when stuff gets interesting here. And this late in the race, you cannot afford a mistake. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin bringing his machine down pit road. Jason Stewart's on pit road. You cannot afford a mistake at this point of the race. You got to be flawless in your execution. Getting on the pit road, getting off pit road. You got to hope your pit crew's on the ball. You got to get in the box just right. The best way you can get in your box, if you can be in there perfect, the faster your pit crew will be. And so you want to be in there square, right smack dab in the middle. Let them do a 12, 13-second stop, and then you be on your way. Nobody else has elected to pit as of yet. Pit road not as busy yet, but now change that. Dalton Kilroe going to surrender the lead. He is coming down pit road with 18 laps to go. Be 17 this time by. Joshua Sexton coming with him. Jason Stewart is exiting pit road. The Butcher's exiting. Going to let John Perkins actually going to get up there because he did pit a little bit before those drivers. Got that advantage of having a few more laps on fresh tire. That's allowed him to get up there with Butcher and Jason. Let's see if he's going to be able to keep the momentum up and actually get closer to them drivers. As Dalton Kilroe's coming off pit road now. Jason Stewart's coming out of turn 4. This is going to be a race for the lead here. Will Dalton be able to get up to enough speed going down the backstretch? He had a great gap when he went into pit road. Did he lose it all by staying out a little bit too long? Jason Stewart's exiting turn 2. I don't know if it's going to be close, folks. Perkins is putting his name in the hat. Dalton Kilroe is now getting up to speed. Still came out in first place. That's Dalton Kilroe with about 16 to go this time around. John Perkins is right there behind him, though, trying his best to get there to that driver of Dalton Kilroe. But Dalton had a flawless pit exit again. And that's what you got to do. That's where champions are made. Yes, they're made on the track, but they're also made on pit road. Lee Raymond says, "Come on, Five Kings." Dalton Kilrow, Five Kings Motorsports driver, out front right now, Lee. So I know you're sitting happy. Also got the Butcher out there. Got Paulson, got Sexton. But it ain't just Five Kings tonight. We got John Perkins sitting P2. That's a Speed Mafia driver. Got the Butcher trying to work over him. But Perkins has looked strong all night. Is he going to be able to fend off that number 311 of Taylor the Butcher Benjamin for 15 more laps? This race is slowly but surely. We're getting there to the nitty gritty now. Now's when the thoughts of conserving tires, that's out the window. It's you got to go now. There's no more conserving. It's just gotta go right now. That's what an old commercial was, and that's the thought going through every one of these drivers' heads. Will there be a late race caution too to shake up this race? Dalton has almost a 4-second lead over second, but all it takes is Barney Fife Jr., the flagman, to wave that yellow flag, and then boy, oh boy, this whole race changes. We've been green up to this point, though, thus far here tonight. These drivers have done good. They've battled, they've fought. We've actually seen some paint get traded earlier on in the race as well. But for the most part, it's been a really, really clean, entertaining race with no cautions. Got the 311 of the Butcher. I hate that number, 311. Got the 311 of the Butcher trying to look underneath John Perkins now. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He's going to be able to clear that driver now, but will Perkins have the momentum on the high side? Not able to actually fully get there. Butcher's going to slide up and take P2 away from John Perkins. As we go back up front to Mr. Kilrow, sitting pretty out front with a 4-second lead. He's just trying to manage the gap now. Got the Butcher sitting second, John Perkins sitting third, Derek Paulson sitting fourth. And then we saw this guy right here, Jason Stewart, actually was swerving a little bit right then. May have got the wall a little bit. Jason Stewart, he was one of the strongest cars of the night for the first 60 laps of this race. I mean, he was unstoppable. He could not be denied. And I think he may have asked too much out of his tires at the beginning, and that kind of hurt him as he got on cycle with everybody else. Now, granted, he's on fresh tires now, so we're going to be able to see if he can make those work and gain a few spots here as we're almost 10 to go. You got Rick Thompson, a championship contender. While we're talking about championship contenders, let's go ahead and highlight the top 5 that we have for the points in the championship contenders. Like I said earlier, Dalton Kilrow, he came in first in the points. He's currently sitting first in the standings right now on the grid as well on track. Then second in the points is Joshua Sexton at number 51. He's had a roller coaster of a night. He's been as high as second place, but now he's currently sitting P7. Then third in the points was Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. He's currently sitting second, trying to chase down that elusive win and trying to chase down Dalton Kilrow in front of him. That's the Butcher. He is third in points and second on the grid. And then Rick Thompson and Corey Rutherford, they are both tied for fourth, with Rick Thompson currently sitting fifth right now, making a pass on Jason Stewart. That's going to give the fifth place up to Rick Thompson with Joshua Sexton behind him. And then Corey Rutherford, the other driver that's tied for fourth spot, he's currently sitting ninth. As we are now with the 10 to go presented by BAM Racing Videos. 10 to go presented by BAM Racing Videos. Dalton Kilrow out front. If you love real life racing as much as you love sim racing, check out BAM Racing Videos on YouTube. It's Brandon Mettler. He has about 5,000 subscribers over on his YouTube channel. He goes around to all these local short tracks and does video work for them. So, like the Charlotte Legends Oval, he spent a lot of time out there this summer. Goes down to New Smyrna, Five Flags, any big name track you can think of. Brandon Mettler and from BAM Racing Videos has been there. He's worked with the likes of Pit Road TV, Flow Racing, Speed 51. I mean, they realize to have the best, you got to work with the best, and that's Bam Racing videos on YouTube. This race is starting to wind down. Going to be 8 to go this time by. Now you're starting to see Dalton go down to the grass. He's cutting that track. He is pushing now. Got almost a 4.5 second lead over second place. The battle for second, third, and fourth, though, is not over yet. Got Casey Campbell trying to get a lap back here. Passing Derek Paulson on the inside. Got John Perkins separating Taylor the Butcher, Benjamin, and Derek Paulson. Will Derek be able to use up fresh rubber and get up there and get him a top 3 finishing position? We're going to find out in about 8 to 7 laps here. As I do apologize if the stream quality is dipping a little bit right now. We are having some pretty strong storms out this way, I think. Seems like I keep on hearing the wind hit the house, so if the stream quality has dipped a little bit at times, I do apologize. Oh, Lee Raymond. Okay, you're Jason Raymond's family. I got you. Okay, okay. Nice, nice. Matt Gardner says we need a yellow to regroup them for the sake of entertainment. I think it would be best, but I know for Dalton Kilrose, we come to 6 to go that time by. The last thing he wants to think about is a yellow flag. Almost 5 seconds out, trying to get win number 10 on the board here. Dalton Kilroe, that number 41, Daddy-O's 5 Kings Motorsports machine, is looking very, very strong. He is on rails out here tonight. As Paul Hicks has took that number 93 Fanatec machine down pit road. Casey Campbell, like I said earlier, he pitted a little bit later, pitted on lap 86 versus everybody else pitting on around like lap 78, 79. Stayed out about 7 extra laps. Going to try to use the freshest of tires to try to gain whatever spots he can, because the top 6 people in points, so the top 5 automatically get entry into next season. They don't have to pay an entry fee. And then whoever finished 6th in the points will also get automatic entry. So the battle, even if you're outside the playoffs, is not done. You still want to be in 6th place, because then you get a free season next season for the American Sim Racing League ARCA series on Wednesday nights. 5 to go this time by for that driver. Going to change to 4 to go the next time around the circuit. Going to be 4 to go as you see Dalton jump down the apron. Going to cut this track again. 4 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Another update on the playoff contenders. You got Corey Rutherford. He lost a spot since the last time we spoke about it. Currently sitting P10, but still looking strong with a top 10 finish here tonight. Then you got Rick Thompson, the person he is tied with for 4th in the points, currently sitting P6. Joshua Sexton, who's 2nd in the points, sitting P5. The Butcher, who's sitting 3rd in the points, sitting P2 with Dalton Kilroe, who's leading the points. Got 9 wins on the season. 3 laps to go, trying to chase win number 10 of the season. Is he going to be able to do it? Is there going to be a late race shenanigans here? As you see, just trying to be calm, cool, and collected here. We're going to go on board with Dalton to see how he's attacking the track right now. As you can tell earlier, they was not lifting all the way out of the throttle. We heard Dalton right then. He actually lifted completely out of the throttle right then. So that shows me that he is. He's just trying to take it easy. As we're 2 laps to go this time by. 2 laps remaining in the race. Dalton's just trying to take it easy, get everything he can, and just try to secure the first win of the playoffs. Got Perkins sitting 3rd, and he's trying to get everything he can. Maybe get top 6 in the points, get that free entry into next season. We talked to Rick Thompson earlier. He said season 2 is for sure happening. And I'm happy to announce 5 Kings Network will be bringing the action live next season as well. Rick also said next season won't be like this season. Tonight, we went flag to flag thus far. No yellow flag. Next season, there will be a stage break. As we're at the final lap for the ASRL Michigan 100. This is the playoff opening race here with Dalton Kilrow. All he has to do is go down around after turn 2, go down and make 2 more nice and easy turns. Come out of turn 4 and win this event. He's going down the backstretch. Got clean track out in front of him. 93's down low. Not going to be a hindrance to this race here. The battle's going to be for second and on back because Dalton Kilrow, number 41, Daddy-O's machine, is going to bring it home out of turn 4 here. Going to bring it in for win number 10 of the American Sim Racing League Series victory of the season. That's 10, folks. You need 2 hands to count this. And now, going into the next race, you might need 3. Dalton Kilrow, number 41, race winner here tonight for the playoff opener. Got the Butcher coming in. Coming across the line here. Going to try to put it in P2. Looking good right now. That's going to be the Butcher coming out of turn 4. He's already on the backstretch. Yeah, they've already passed. Okay. So you got... Oh, nice. Okay, I was a little bit behind. Cool. So you got Dalton Kilrow brought it home P1. The Butcher, Benjamin, brought it home P2. John Perkins brought it home P3. Very strong performance out of that driver tonight. Derek Paulson, P4. Joshua Sexton rounding out your top 5. Then you got Rick Thompson in the 76. Brought it home 6. Scotty Stevens brought it home in 7th spot. Joshua Rutherford, P8. Corey Rutherford gaining him a spot there at the end, P9 with Jason Stewart. Got up there and led him some laps early. Ultimately, though, the roller coaster night ended on a low for him. Brought that machine home P10. As we're going to go over here and talk to the drivers here in just a second. We actually missed the burnouts by Dalton Kilrow because we was going through the grid. But he's going to give us another one because that's what he does. That's Dalton Kilrow right there, folks. Brought it home with victory number 10 on the night. We will speak with him in just a minute. But for now, it's time to speak with Mr. Perkins, driver of the number 33 machine. Gotta find him in Discord. He is and with the Speed Mafia group. He's a Speed Mafia driver. Driver of the number 33, Mr. John Perkins. This is Tanner Marr on the 5 Kings Network. Booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, how you doing, Tanner?
I'm doing good, buddy, and I know you got to be doing just a little bit better. Brought it home on the podium here tonight. You look strong all night. You qualified 3rd, if I remember correctly. So, talk me through your race. You had good pace.
Yeah, I just need to figure out pit strategy so I can stay up with Dalton. I don't guess anybody's ever going to figure that out. I was always just a lap or 2 wrong than him, but one of these days maybe we'll figure it out. But yeah, the car, this Mark does a great job on these setups. The car was really easy to drive, very comfortable. I mean, obviously there was no caution, so I don't think anybody really had any problems driving it. It was a really good race.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. Flag to flag there, Perkins. I mean, there's not a whole lot of series that can come out here and they can say that. 100 laps at Michigan, a playoff race nonetheless, and y'all come out here and y'all race with respect, y'all race clean. But I want to hit on something. So, I've never called any of Dalton's races. We'll use Dalton as an example when I'm in the booth on these long style races like this. He was almost 5/10 faster on pit road from the time he entered pit road to the time he exit versus everybody. So he's definitely doing something on pit road. He's cutting that time off, and that's really helping him. That's allowing him to get a gap, and then he just kind of maintains that gap. But nonetheless, Perkins, I mean, you were really strong tonight. You never fell outside the top 5, except when you pitted. You brought yourself back up there. You kept the car clean all night. That's a beautiful car, by the way. I love your car. I mean, let me hear the sponsors that make that 33 go so fast week in and week out.
Yeah, so as far as the car goes, I'd really like to thank Michael Falk over at the MF Race Designs. He, I mean, as well, he paints awesome jobs. And here in my hometown, Amarillo, Texas, we have minor league baseball, AA baseball for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and our team is called the Sod Poodles. So he hooked me up with a sweet paint job, made it kind of look like a baseball. But yeah, he does a great job. And then of course, my main sponsor is Champion Barbecue. I'd like to thank them, and then of course my teammates on Speed Mafia, and then you guys for coming on and doing this broadcast. I think that's pretty neat. Help the league out.
Right on. I'm excited to be up here. I liked racing, but I believe in the league, and I wanna get as many people out here as possible because y'all. I mean, y'all put on a good show, and we'll continue to grow it. And just got confirmation there is a new season coming, so look forward to calling the action with you on track again next season, Perkins.
Absolutely. Yeah, as soon as I get done out of here, I'm going to go back and watch the broadcast. So thanks for coming out with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for giving me something to do here tonight. Now, I will tell you, I've lost my voice completely from calling last night, so it's a little rough tonight, but we'll have help up in the booth next week, so maybe it'll be better.
There you go. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. That's John Perkins. He brought it home P3, rounded out the podium finishers here tonight. But now it's the Butcher we're talking to. That's Taylor the Butcher Butcher Benjamin. Normally in the 10 machine and the 311 machine here tonight. Taylor, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
So you qualified fourth, if I remember correctly. Got you 2 spots gained by the time we went from grid to the race finish. Talk me through your race here tonight. You look pretty stable all night.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you in the pre-race, is try to protect the race car and be there at the end of the race. And if we had a late race caution, it could have gotten interesting. But yeah, Dalton was just too fast. Same, I guess, same story, different week, right?
I will say, so that's what me and Perkins talked about just a little bit. As far as pit lane time, from the time you all enter pit lane to the time y'all exit pit lane, Dalton has almost right at 5/10. He's faster than everybody on and off pit road. So I'm not sure what's going on there, how he's able to do that, but I'm looking at it right now. It blew my mind when I saw it. Absolutely blew my mind. I mean, you're talking almost a second faster on and off pit lane, and that's just from playing with the timing lines and stuff like that. But nonetheless, you still brought it home second. I think what's your worst finish all season? 6th, maybe 5th. I mean, shoot, that's a great season.
Something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, still, although still a goose egg in the win column. But,
Right, you're still chasing that elusive win, but there's races left, and I believe you can get it there, Taylor. I really do.
Well, Watkins Glen is definitely going to be. I was just talking to Dalton about that before you pulled me up. How it's going to be a wild card, and I don't really think anybody disagrees with me. So
Right.
I think that'll be interesting what happens, especially because as far as incident points counting against you, because
Right.
that
Right.
could make the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Each point you get on the track, incident point, is a point off your race total, and that can make a huge difference. That's the Butcher Benjamin brought it home second place on the podium, 1 spot short, but I promise you, don't let the win column trick you. This guy has put together a heck of a season, and that's why he's in the playoffs. Butcher, who you got to thank to make that freaking 311 car so fast? You know how many times I tried to call you 10 tonight?
Well, I mean, usually I'm in the 336 in here, but I don't know why I'm this number tonight. But anyway, just thank Five Kings for what they're doing. Thank people at Penn State. Awesome to be a part of their, part of the alumni there as a student. And thank you guys and thank the rest of the guys at Speed Mafia for doing the league admin stuff, because I know that takes a lot of work. And thank you for getting the broadcast going, because it's been kind of something we've been talking about for a while, and I'm glad we finally got it underway.
Right on, absolutely. And got confirmation tonight. New season's coming, and we'll be up here calling the action. That's the Butcher. Brought it home P2 on the board, 1 spot short. But like he said, Watkins Glen's coming up, and that's going to be a game changer for sure. That's the Butcher. P2, congratulations tonight, Taylor. We'll be talking to you, I'm sure, next week.
Yep, thank you. See you then.
Yes, sir. All right, and then without any further ado, Mr. Kilrow, win number 10. You lied to me when you came in here. You said you were just going to be conservative, not try to do too much, and then you opened it up to a 4-second lead. You qualified P6, so I was worried, not worried, but I was thinking, hey, maybe Dalton don't have the short run speed. But man, oh man, if you didn't have the short run speed, you definitely had the long run speed. Talk me through your race tonight.
Yeah. I didn't lie to you. I was actually being conservative. I wasn't trying to push too hard. Um, but it's something I found in practice, and I even mentioned it to the rest of the guys at Five Kings. Um, you never really had to fully lift around this track. You could run like quarter throttle on entry, and it would slow down enough. You wouldn't kill the right rear off of it. I mean, some guys are still kind of getting a little loose, but if you just play with the throttle and just kind of pedal it out of the corner and didn't get full throttle till the wheel was straight, it would be fine. That's just kind of what I was doing all night, and just I don't know if people were just burning their right rears off or what, but it just, you know, half a tenth here, half a tenth there, it just added up. And the fact that we went caution free, which I always love going caution free just because it lets strategies play out.
Right.
Um, but, just not making any mistakes and keeping it clean, especially in that first uh, dent on the tires, and just managing things, just not taking too many risks, and sure enough, it worked out.
Yeah, I think it definitely worked out with that 41 Daddy-O's machine. I mean, so I misspoke a while ago. I said me and Perkins and the Butcher, we were talking about your pit lane time. I said you were 5/10 faster than everybody, but still, you were still 500ths quicker than everybody on pit lane each and every time. And that don't sound like a whole lot, but I promise you folks, that adds up. You were the quickest guy to enter and exit pit road all night, and you went in once, you didn't have the lead, you came out and you were battling for the lead, and that's what shows right there, and that's what wins championships. And I mean, 10 wins, looking really pretty, had a great lead coming into tonight. You gained on that lead because your second place contender, Mr. Sexton, he finished fifth. Still a great night, but still, you brought the win home. That's Dalton Kilrow on the 41 Daddy-O's machine. Other than Daddy-O's, who else do you got to thank to make that 41 go so fast each and every week?
Well, I gotta thank Michael Falk Racing Designs, because these paint schemes, regardless of who's got an MFRD design on their car, those cars are fast every week. And just hit him up Facebook. He's awesome at doing the paints. Does pretty good turnaround time when he actually has time with his other job. I gotta thank FP Button Box, Bam Racing Videos, Butt Kicker, Raise Energy, and everybody else at Five Kings Motorsports, Savage Edge Apparel, and Five Kings Network, and for doing the broadcasting.
There you go. I can tell Dalton's done it a few times going through the sponsor list. But that's Mr. Kilrow. Bright Home P1. Win number 10. Going to be searching for win number 11. Dalton, do you know where we go next week in this series?
Watkins Glen.
Okay, that's what Butcher said, Watkins Glen, but I wasn't sure if it was coming up next or just down the pipeline. So that's going to be interesting. So you can catch us here. We'll be live bringing all the action. But let's don't skip out and forget about tonight. Dalton Kilrow won the ASRL Michigan 100 and won it pretty handily. Had a almost 5 second lead. Congratulations to you tonight, Dalton, and we will probably be talking to you again next week, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. There you have it, folks. That was Mr. Kilrow. Brought it home. P1 on the board once again. Got win number 10 on the season. Man, oh man. Can anybody stop that man? It's going to be a challenge, whoever tries. Let's go to the grid or the results page here right now, and then we'll call it a night here on the Five Kings Network. ASRL Michigan 100. Like I said, Dalton Kilrow, P1, P2, The Butcher Benjamin, P3, that's going to be John Perkins out of Speed Mafia, Derek Polson from Five Kings Motorsports, brought it home P5 with Joshua Sexton rounding out your top 5 finishers. Rick Thompson, another Speed Mafia driver, he brought it home just one spot short of the top 5, brought it home P6. Scotty Stevens, P7, Joshua Rutherford and Corey Rutherford, it's the family affair from Work in Progress Racing, they brought it home 8th and 9th respectively. Jason Stewart, Dirty Bird Sim Racing Team. He got up there and he led quite a bit of laps. The first half of the race, it looked as if he could not be denied. But got in a little bit of trouble late in the race, and that ended up bringing him to a P10 finish. Still a great finish for the talent that's in this series. And then the Soul Stealer, Brian Dees, brought it home P11. Frank Barr, P12. Paul Ellison, Casey Campbell, Paul Hicks. They are rounding out your top 15 finishers. Christopher Stone brought it home 16th. Brian Rainfield 17th. And Matthew Edens brought it home, rounding out the field in P18, 46 laps down. And like I said, folks, if you want to be a part of this series, you can shoot Rick Thompson a message on Facebook. Check him out, American Sim Racing League on iRacing. But for now, it's been Tanner Marr in the 5 Kings Network booth. Want to thank BAM Racing Videos and MF Racing Designs, Maconi Setup Shop, Savage Edge Apparel, FB Sim Racing Button Box, and so on and so on and so on. The laundry list of sponsors that supports this team. We cannot thank you all enough. Thank you to the viewers for tuning in. Be sure to give us a like on the 5 Kings Network Facebook page. And then until tomorrow night, about this time, we will be live again for the Apex Sim Racing Custom Sim Racing Gear, Truck Series playoff race. But until then, it's been Tanner Marr in the booth. We'll see ya.